All right, this is Throwback Thursday, man. This is Throwback Thursday. I feel like going into one, so I'm gonna take you back in Harlem, in the midst of the crack era. That's why right now I'm sitting on 125th Street. For those of y'all know what this looked like, sit back, enjoy the ride. Let's get this thing popping, man. All right, this one here is about a lover dog ass nigga. Oops, excuse me, I ain't supposed to say nigga because my brother Muhammad 3X talked to me. We gonna say, man, this is a lover dog ass trigger. That's what I'm gonna call them because we got all types of guns that we use on the street. We got the 38. That's what the police used to use back in the days with Beretta and Starsky and Hutch, where they put them in their boots. As you see, I feel like riding today. So y'all sit back and let me ride. Cause I ride today. Relax. Let me ride today. Now, I got my man, and I'm gonna take y'all. We just gonna go all over the place, cause my mind is scrambled right now. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm up on 193rd and Autobahn, and these dudes is up there. They cooking up. They selling coke, powder cocaine that look like fish scale. Everybody else getting maybe $23 a gram. They selling their joints for $18, $19 a gram, and the coke look fire, And then everybody else selling their crack for, you know what I mean? Crack was less. Everybody else selling their crack for like $20 a gram. They selling theirs for $16 a gram, So I want in. You know what I mean? I'm a hustler. The Dominicans got something going on up here on 193rd and Autobahn, and I want in. So I go up there, I got my pistol on me, I'm ready to rough it off. Either you're gonna willingly tell me this recipe, you know what I mean? Or you're gonna sell me the recipe, because I have no qualms with, paying for the game, because the game is to be sold, not told. That's what I'm trying to teach you youngins. And that's why I say you trolls find somewhere else to go, because it's a gangster channel. You're not going to get gangster information like this nowhere else. Now, I go see my man, and bottom line, they crushing him, and I want in. So I roll up there and I tell him straight up. I say, look, I'm trying to get in, man. That coke you got, when you cut it up in the powder, it's still fish scale, it's still hard, it don't crumble in your fingers, it still leave the residue on your finger. When you taste it, it still give you a freeze. When they sniff it, they still get high. I said, how are you doing this? And he said, man, I can't tell you, this is how we killing the block. You know what I mean? This is where everybody come here. I said, what about the crack then? How you able to sell yours for $5 and $7 cheaper than everybody else? And he said, man, we got the game around with it. I said, all right, well, how we gonna do this? I'm trying to pay for the game, So dude said, give me 80,000. You know what I mean? I'll show you how to do both. You know what I mean? So he's charging me $80,000 to show me how to cut the cocaine so that I could turn a kilo into, 1,500 to 1,800 grams when it only comes 1,000 grams in a kilo. So that's tripling, that's like, damn near doubling your money, So I said, hold up, told my man, go get that. My man go get the 80 grand, I give him the 80 grand, and I go get my man, and I bring my man up there, this other cat, and I tell him straight up, I said, yo, check it out, this is how we gonna do this. He gonna show you how to cook this. I'm gonna give you a job cooking it. Once you learn how to cook it, I'm gonna give you $1,000 off of each kilo, and we only gonna cook 25 keys a day, because that's gonna bring us up, to about maybe 40 keys, of crack, That's all I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on the powder because, see, I'm too big of a trigger to cause, I'm a Uzi. You know what I mean? I'm not the little 38 that Beretta put in his boots. I'm a Uzi. You know what I mean? So I'm too big of a trigger to how to put this, to sit there getting my hands dirty, playing with 1,000 grams of cocaine times 25 or 40. You understand what I'm saying? This, it's messy. It's messy. I don't even like to count the money. You see how black my hands are? Look how dark my hands and stuff is. You see what I'm saying? Look at my fingertips. You know, when you count money, my fingertips be black as my arm. Where it is on this side, be black as my shirt. So I hate getting my hands dirty because, you know, I like to use my fingers because the ladies like the fingers and the hands, and I like breastises. You know, I like breastises. You know, I don't like them too big, but I can take them big. I like little Mongol shaped breastises with little, you know, ripe grape, you know, nipples. You know, that's me. So I got to make sure my hands are soft and tender. So of course I get somebody else to do the cooking. So I take them up there, dude, show us how to cook it. You know, I ain't gonna give y'all too much because I don't want y'all going out there trying to cook nothing and think that I'm promoting nothing because it's not what this is about. But anyway, so he give us the game, and my man learned how to cook. I'm giving him, you know, $1,000 off a key, and we started him off at, you know, 10 keys for the first day. He turned the 10 keys into like 16, 17 keys, shipped it out of town. They loved it. Money came back. Everything good. Now we ready to roll. He understand the recipe after the first 10. So now he got the first 10 going. He made 10 grand. So the next, about 2, 3 days later, I see him. I said, yo, you feel like working? I got something I got to send out of town. So he like, all right, bet. You know, he said, you know, I'm going to take a cab up there. I need you to pay for the cab. I said, my trigger, I just gave you 10 grand 2 days ago. He said, nah, I had to give it to my baby moms. Now, let me tell you about baby moms. Baby moms was you know, she was a bad Dominican and he was Puerto Rican. Bad Dominican, little shorty, nice caramel complexion, had a nice, you know, slim body, you know, with a nice little pear-shaped butt. It wasn't too big. It was enough where I could take both of these hands. 'Cause I told you I like to use my hands and palm the cheeks. That's how nice it was. Not lusting at my man's girl, but just want you to get a visual. You know, and then she had these natural long eyelashes, and she had that Spanish accent, and she must have been doing something crazy because my man had like 4 or 5 kids from her at the time. You know, so he cab fare to come up. I said, all right. So he come up. I give him the cab fare. So I ain't paid no mind. We go cook. He knocked the 25 out. We got like 41, 42, you know, keys wet. You know what I mean? So I packaged that up and I sent that down to, you know, couldn't send it to D.C. because D.C. wasn't going for it. D.C. like they cooked in a Pyrex joint in the microwave. You know what I mean? So y'all know what I know I'm talking about, y'all from D.C. They like it in the microwave, cooked up in the microwave in the Pyrex. But, you know, you could cook it up in a Pyrex pot, put it on the stove and whip it. You know what I mean? Put it together, send that down to, you know, Virginia, North Carolina, you know, places like that. You know, the further out you go to, you know, you can send it, you know, like that. The thing with that is when they smoke it, it make the stems black. You smokers from back in the days know what I'm talking about. When you smoke that joint that you know, you poof to blow up, it make the stems black. So we sat there. We got about 42 keys. I shipped it out. Money came back. I gave him 25 grand. Now, he gets his, you know, thing. He said, yo, I want to start, you know, selling some weed, you know. So I had an African. I had an African dude on 125th Street, you know. This back in the day. So y'all will remember. I'm going to say some landmarks and all that. Had an African dude, had a pawn shop that used to buy gold, you know, on 125th Street, and he used to sell all that Galveston gold, like Galveston purple, Hawaiian bud, you know, Mexican mush. You know what I mean? He had it all, you know, when it came to the weed, and everything was fire. Back then, that chocolate Buddha, if y'all from back in the days, y'all know that chocolate Buddha, that's that joint, when you take a puff, it clogs up the back of your throat. You know what I mean? Because the smoke is so thick. That's that chocolate Buddha. And when you blow it out like poof, you know what I mean? The joint come out like, you know, and you can literally see the smoke sitting in your face, look like you in heaven, you know, as you transform into this, you know what I mean, Afghanistan gold, you know, this chocolate Buddha. So, you know, I take him up there, introduce him. They don't like the chocolate Buddha where he was at. They liked it that green weed. You know what I mean? What they call it now? Oh man, I think that's what they call the czar. They liked the czar up there on Broadway. You know what I mean? That's where they had it at. My man's in them had a spot on 174 Audubon. My man was over there up on Broadway. I ain't gonna tell you his street because I don't want to give him away. You know what I mean? But I got to tell this story. And so he's sitting there, right? Let me get back into it. I started dozing off, drifting for a minute. So he's sitting there, and he want to sell some weed. So he come and I give him a little 10 pounds, on consignment. That means pay me later. Take the 10 pounds, go about your business. He got his man working with him. They moving, they shaking and baking. He got a block up there on Broadway. Then he go down the Lower East Side. He got a block over there. That's where his man from. They shaking and baking, and you know what I mean. And then he come back up and he's like, yo, I need some money. Well, he paid me my money, and then he said he needed to make some money, because he wanted to buy an M5 BMW. So he wants to get this M5 BMW. So I said, all right, how much is it? He said, nah, they just, want 25. I'm getting it from the salvage shop out in Queens. He said, I got to get a couple of things fixed on it, but I just need, to cook a quick 25 to get this 25 grand. So I said, all right. So, I pull out a little, 25 keys. He go cook it up, I send it out of town. I give him his 25 grand. And then a week later, because I only seen him when I needed him to cook, and I only need him to cook when I'm sending out of town. Otherwise, I'm sending my little 25 a day in New York or, and waiting for that money to come back from out of town when you're sending it down there and wait like that. So by the time I'm waiting on the money to come back up, he needs some more money. So he gets the 25 grand. He goes, and 2 days later, he come back and said he's short 15. I said, damn, what they charging you $40,000 for a car to salvage joint? He said, nah, they only charging me 25. I said, I just gave you 25, so how you need 15? He said, man, I had to give my girl some money. I said, my dude, you know what 15 grand is today? How you give her 15 grand? I know you got 4 or 5 kids with her, but God, what is she buying them? Platinum shoes? Platinum diapers? Diamond diapers? What do you, and he like, come on, I love a dog. I said, you love a dog? He said, yeah. I said, what does you loving her dog got to do with you giving her 15 grand a week? And you on the street don't even have a job. He said, but I work for you. I said, ain't no insurance benefits with me because at any minute we could both get popped or we could both get killed. You know what I mean? Or we could both wind up in prison. So you got to save some of that money so you ready for whatever happened. If you get popped, you going to call me for lawyer money? Come on. And he looked at me again and said, but I love a dog. I said, my dog, you can't keep giving her all your money. He said, nah. I said, all right, well, look, I'm done with this. I'm going to give you the 15. I give him the 15 grand. So now he get the 15 grand and he go buys the joint. But mind you, he's been selling weed with his man. He gets his M5. It was a red joint with black interior, and I treated him to the BBS rims for another 8 grand, rims and tires. So I gave him some BBS that we painted red to go with it. He just had to get the front grill fixed. Is always wrong with it, because that's what the salvage yard is. Cars that, the insurance write-off is total, and then they sell them back, for cheap at this yard called a salvage yard, because they normally use it to sell it for parts. But there's usually nothing wrong with the cars. They just knew somebody at the joint and they got in an accident. They decided to, sell it. Or if the chassis is bent back then, that was a big thing. Once that chassis is bent, they write it off. If it's a hard enough collision, the chassis is bent, they write it off as total. So he gets the red M5 and had to get the front fixed. So the next thing I know, his man pulls up on the block and he got a gray M5, So I said, his partner that's selling weed with him. So I said, yo, how did you get this? And he said, nah, the 10 pounds you gave us, I flipped it, took my profit. I got that, and I got my apartment for my girl. I'm taking care of my side chicks. And he said, man, I'm doing good with that little 10 pounds. So I said to my man, how he doing good with the 10 pounds? And you getting 50% of what he getting off the 10 pounds. He don't bought a BMW from the 10 pounds. And you came to me telling me you need to cook something. And you needed 25 G's to get it. It's your money, do what you want. You got it, you did that, and that's that. All right, I understand that. I said, but now you done did that. And then you come back to me and tell me you need another 15, but he brought his on his own. You know what I mean? He said, yo, I had to take care of my kids. I said, dog, you're giving your kids too much money. None of your kids is over 5. You know what I mean? None of your kids is over 5. So what do they want? At the time, a pair of Jordans or expensive sneakers for the little babies back then, the little joints like this for like $40. So I'm like, dog, come on, man. So they leave. He gets his M5 fixed and he had a stick shift because I wasn't letting him get nothing other than a stick shift. When you get them European whips, you got to get gears. You know what I mean? You don't want to be there manually just change it and let the car drive for you. You want to and murk it and let them know that you did do the donuts and all that. You know what I'm saying? So this is where he at. So he come back up there one day and he got this big ass 357. This a dude, he busts his gun. You know what I mean? But he's a man. He know you don't pull out your joint unless you're going to use it. But, and he never pulls it out. But I know he got it because we going to the cook, he'll take it out and he'll put it on the counter. You know what I mean? To get himself ready, take his shirt off, you know what I mean? And, I'm going to give you another funny one. Let me ride with this kid. Remember I told you he Puerto Rican, right? So now, I'm a 5% at the time. I'm a 5%. So I don't eat pork, you know what I mean? We don't do none of that. So my man, I didn't even allow people to eat pork around me in my car, in my club, nowhere. You know what I mean? So my man turns around and he said he was hungry and he was in the middle of cooking. So I come up there. I said, all right, yo, what you want? I'm going to go get that for you. He said, just get me a Cuban sandwich. So I walked downstairs. Y'all know what a Cuban sandwich is? Put in the comment if you know what a Cuban sandwich is before I tell you. So he wanted a Cuban sandwich. So I walk downstairs to the little corner bodega and I tell him, give me a Cuban sandwich. And I get me a Heineken, go out front, roll a joint. I'm chilling, I'm smoking and playing music. I'm at the...
Mecca what? Mecca audio!
The Mecca. You know what I mean? I'm in my zone. So I go back upstairs and I bring it to him and he got the hanger. Because, we had to take the hanger, break the hanger and turn it into like a spoon. So when you put it in it to twirl that thing when you whipping it. You know what I'm talking about. We cooking weight, so that's why you got to twirl it to get it moving in the pot so it don't clunk up, and get the and crush the rocks up when the steam and the baking soda hit that joint. You know what I mean? Too much game I'm giving you, but I'm not giving you enough for you to go out there and try this because I don't want you to become a billionaire and then wind up saying I got you locked up or your family members say I got you killed because they watch Unique Mega Audio. So I'm not going to give you the ingredients. But anyway, so I come back, he got the joint. And I was a dude, I hated hair, wet stuff, and slimy shit. You know what I mean? That was just me. But, while he's twirling the hanger, a piece of hair must have got in the hanger and in the oil from the cocaine. And he got the joint in it and he pulls it out. You know what I mean? And he's eating this Cuban sandwich. And while he's eating the Cuban sandwich, he takes the hanger, puts it in his mouth, and he bites a little piece of hair, a long piece of hair. I tell you, they were Spanish kids I was with, so some hair got in it. He bites it off with his teeth. And I'm like, oh, man, it gave me the chills, But, that's where we was at. So while we sitting there, his other Cuban friend, not Cuban, his other, another Dominican homie come up there. And he like, yo, I thought, you didn't allow none of us to, eat pork up in here or around you. I said, nah, I don't play that. You know what I mean? I serve Lord and Master all day. So he said, yo, then why he eating a ham sandwich? I said, nah, he ain't eating a ham sandwich. He eating a Cuban sandwich. You know what I mean? And my man bust out laughing, Dominican. He said, man, what do you think a Cuban sandwich is? That's a ham sandwich, man. I was so pissed. I said, hold up. I docked him, keeping it 100, so he wouldn't pull that stud again. I docked him 10 grand. He had to cook an extra 10 keys for free. I made him cook an extra 10 keys for free. He lost $10,000 for bringing that pork up in my house. That was his punishment because I really wanted to smack the crap out of him. I mean, gunshots. That's how I felt at the time. I would just see. I was seeing red and black, just like this shirt. I was seeing red and black. I was in my body. So they all laughing at me because dude got over, and that's the first time that I know pork was ever eaten in my joint. So that's how we got past that. But anyway, let me speed back. See, I'm zoning. I told you I'm just in a good mood, Throwback Thursday, so just sit back and enjoy the ride. So now, he pulled out this big ass gun. And I said, Dawg, how's you pulling that out? You know what I mean? And he like, nah, I got to make sure I got some extra bullets. I said, for what? I'm laughing at him now. I said, damn, what I do, dog? He said, nah, that ain't true. He said, the homie screwing my girl. I said, your girl? I said, dude, but you got a baby mother with 5 kids. Why you worrying about him screwing your girl? He said, man, that's who I'm talking about. I said, who? He said, my baby mother. I said, after all that money you giving her, not only is she cheating on you, but she's cheating on you with your partner? He said, yeah. I said, well, so, I'm going to keep it 100. I said, why don't you just smoke the chick? You know what I mean? I'm messing with him. I said, why don't you just smoke it? That's the ultimate violation. He said, nah, I love a dog. I'm going to smoke that nigga. I said, hold up, family. You ain't got to smoke nobody. I'm just teasing you, man. He said, nah, I'm going to kill this trigger. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. I said, dude, what is you talking about? So he said, man, yo, I'm going to handle this. So he leaves. You know what I mean? About an hour later, his man called me. He said, yo, you need to talk to the homie. He just, he came down to the spot and he shot up the spot. I said, but that's y'all spot. Y'all get money in there together. He said, yeah, I know, but, he just came down there bugging out, shooting up. I said, nah, dog, what do you mean he just came down there shooting up? He said, yeah, he chased me through the building. He's shooting at me, trying to kill me. I said, I already know what happened. So I'm like, what happened? You messed up the money? Was something short? You brought somebody working there that messed up the money? He was like, nah. I said, no, come uptown, man. So he came uptown. I asked him what happened. And he said, man, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, big homie. I've been having sex with his girl. I've been having sex with his girl. Me and her been getting it in. I said, well, why would you do that to the homie? He said, dude, I'm not the only one screwing. He said, everybody's screwing her. So what you mean everybody's screwing? I said, that's my man girl. She got 5 kids. How she get out for everybody to run up in her? He said, yo, listen, man. Yo, Trigger. You know what I mean? Check. She's screwing everybody, man. And he started running down a list of names she's screwing. You know what I mean? So now, I'm taking his word for it, but I'm still questioning it, figuring he trying to just, divert it from he's doing it by saying everyone else is doing it, So I go to payphone, I beep a couple of names he say, and I tell them to come up on the block. So they all come on the block, and they all telling me the same thing. That, yeah, we've been hitting that. But they not cool with him like that, but they know her. And they know who he is, of course, because he with me. But they tell me that it's like 5, 6 dudes. They all running up in his baby mom's. The one he's giving all his money to, why he never had no money, and I had to turn around and give him 15 grand after I just gave him the 25 grand to buy the car because he gave her the 15 grand. And when I gave the 10 grand, he turned around and gave that to her. 2 days later, he needed cab fare, and she's screwing 5 other dudes, and you giving her over $200,000 that you earning with me? It's your money. You can do what you want to do, but I'm not going to keep you on my payroll if you know I love a dog as Trigger. Listen, you know what I mean? If you're sitting there in love and the police pick you up, or the wild cowboys pick you up, you know what I mean? You can tell us something because you're trying to get back to your girl. That movie, I think it was Heat. Correct me in the comments, you fake-ass trolls. I think it was Heat where Al Pacino said, don't get attached to nothing you can't walk away from in like 30 seconds or less, something like that. You know what I mean? And why would you, it just blew me. So I got all the homies up there. So I said, nah, let me get my man up here. So I beat my man. I tell him, come up to the block, man. So he came up to the Mecca and we all, we stand in front of Mecca and we stand aside. We outside, you know what I mean? So when he come, he see his man and he ready to pull out the joint, And I said, family, you know where you at. You know what I mean? You at the Mecca.
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
You're not going to do that here. You know what I mean? Let's go upstairs and we all going to talk and see what's going on. You know what I mean? I said, as a matter of fact, give me that joint too, man, because he is a little hothead Puerto Rican and will bust that trigger quick. I said, give me that mag. So he give me the mag. I give it to my man to hold him. All of us go upstairs. The 5 of us go upstairs. So while we upstairs, I'm talking to my man and I'm saying like, yo, he's not the only one screwing your girl. You know me, I'm raw with it. You know what I mean? You know, this is my form of intervention. I said, yo, family, look, he's not the only one screwing your girl. Yes, he's screwing your girl. Yes, he admitted to me he's screwing your girl. But so is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everybody's screwing her. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't believe me, they even told me she got a mole on her left ass cheek. You know what I mean? Now, how they know all of that? You know? So he's like, hey, you know, now he looking sick. And I said, so you want to kill your man when she already screwing 5 other dudes that you know? But that's my homie. He ain't supposed to do that. I said, but listen, that's not your girl, because she wasn't supposed to do that. She's just, that's why we just call her a baby mother. There's a difference between a baby mother and a wife. When back in the day, so let me give y'all some more game. Back in the day when somebody say, that's my baby mother, that just means that's somebody that they expect to have sex with forever or they in love with. You know what I mean? But don't, you know, but still seeing other people. That's what a baby mother mean. But when you say that's wifey, you don't need no papers, you know you married or whatever, you know? So I'm like, yo, she's just your baby mother, dog. The same way she gave you 5, she can give somebody else 5. So why is you sitting here going through all this, want to kill your man over that? And the other dudes is telling them how I having sex with, and they telling him like, yo, family, I'm mess with you for real. You know what I mean? Two of them didn't even know it was his girl. You know what I mean? Because they never seen them together. You know, he just met her and, you know, they did their thing. She knew who they was because, you know, everybody know who the boss players is. So he doing what he got to do, and they all telling him that they having sex with her. So I look at him, I said, dog, she's schooling everybody. She's no good for you. Just take care of the kids. Cut down, give her the money. Find yourself a new girl. You know what I mean? Spend some money on her. Do whatever, but you got to find something to wean yourself off. A matter of fact, you know, you like to eat that choach. You know what I mean? So, you know, a whole bunch of black chicks want to get their choach eats, and I'm not doing it, then I'm screwing. So I'm going to let you be, you know, my choach eater. You know what I mean? You know, true story. You know what I mean?
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
True story. They tell you about this at the Mecca. You know, I wasn't eating no choach, but I bring a homie to eat the choach for me. You know what I mean? Because it ain't no fun if we all can't get some. You know what I mean? I'm not going down on her. She want to be going down on her. She's going to go out and get somebody to go down on her because I'm not going down on her. So why not let it be somebody that I could control? Somebody that I respect. Somebody that I want to bless. You know what I mean? So I bless the homie and tell him you eat the choach. You know what I mean? And I sit back, smoke a joint while, you know, he eating the choach. You understand what I'm saying? And then he get hers. You know what I mean? And then me and her do what we got to do. But either way, you got to make sure she get hers because she going to go out and get it anyway, with or without you. So you fake ass, but I love a dog ass triggers. I want y'all to really understand how this thing go. Don't sit here and think that you could claim a woman. A woman choose you. You can't claim a woman. Women is going to try and claim you. And the thing is, women is always trying to change you. That's why they like bad boys. They figure they can turn a bad boy good, you know? When they realize that they changed you good and now they got you conformed and, you know, doing what needed to be done the way they want it done, and you eating the choach the way they want it eaten, you doggy style the way they want it, you're taking them shopping, you know, your vacations, you buying them cars, you're doing everything, and you think you being a good trigger. I'm being a husband. She's looking at you as a sucker. Cold sucker. Now, even though you was a bad boy when you met her, you allowed her to change you, but now that she changed you, that mission is over. And she's going to move on to the next gangster, you know? And that's why I kept my girls around so long. That's why I kept mine around so long. Because they already knew there is no changing unique. So it was the challenge of them believing that they could change me. The challenge of them believing they could change me. And I love the challenge. You know what I mean? And a couple of times I made them feel like they did. You know, they did a couple of things and I let them think I was a whole I love a dog ass trigger for a minute. But, you know, come on, man. They all know I am. Like I said, I talk that because I am that. You know what I mean? I'm on the street. Yes, I was in love. I was, but I love a dog ass trigger. You know what I mean? Once. I know once. I got to think it was more than one. I know once I was in love with Dog Ass Trick. If you want to hear about that, you know what I mean, I give it to you. I know I gave you the one about, Cali from Vegas. You know what I mean? Vegas from Cali. You know what I'm talking about. The little chick from Alabama I told you I brought up from Miami. You know, when I took her and, had another chick pleasure her. Like I said, I wasn't going down on them. And the reason why I wasn't going down on them, just so y'all understand this, let me say this. Let me get up in the camera and look at you and say this. I'm out there getting money. I'm not the only one getting money. You know, we got the Peter Shoes, we got the Kevin Childs, we got the D Nice in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know, we all getting money and we all screwing the same girls. Just like you watch Love and Hip Hop and everything circulate with Cali Red, done been with Young Jock, been with Life, been with the other cat, what's his name, with the long hair, with the gangster mother. I love that family. You know what I mean, by the way. Okay, what the heck is it, man? DeLeon or something? But whatever. But, these girls go through us like it's nothing. That's why I'm up in the camera talking to you. They go through us like nothing. You understand? They school me today, school Kevin tomorrow. Then the next day they go school, D Nice or Jesus or Peter Shoe or whoever. But, so how could I go down on one of these girls when I know when I'm not with them, they're going to be schooling one of my homies or somebody else? So why would I put my face down there when I know that it's not mine, man? I'm just leasing the sex. That's it. So I lease it for what I want. Just like you lease a car. Or you might lease a SUV, because you want to go somewhere with a group of people. You lease a SUV. You know what I mean? You want to go with just, you and your girl by yourself. You lease a Ferrari. So if I get with a chick, I'm leasing the sex for the night, and I just want to bang it. That's it. I want some good head and I want to bang it. That's it. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have none of that. We're going to have a good time, but all that personal conversation, keep my business away from. I got to tell y'all about a pillow talker too. I'm riding. I'm riding. I got to tell y'all about a pillow talker. But let me get back to that. So, I'm leasing it. So I'm leasing it for what I want. I'm just banging the guts out. That's all I want. I want some good head banging around. After my first nut, I'm done. I lay back, smoke a joint, and I find somebody else to go lease. You know what I mean? And I might lease 5 or 6 chicks for the night, just like you lease 5 or 6 whips. And that's how it is back then when you get money. That's what I'm letting y'all know, man. Don't get involved in this youngin' because you're going to get your heart caught up. You know what I mean? And I got to labor for that. You're going to get your muscle caught up. Yes, your muscle. Your heart is like a muscle. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and get your muscles in a knot. You understand? Because then the blood is not going to flow and you're going to make bad choices. Bad choices mean when you get caught, you're going to tell. When when a dude run down on you, you know what I mean? You're going to be slipping. All that comes from your muscle not working properly because it's so tangled up in this, but I love a dog. But let me ride back because I want to close this out. Gunshots. Come back.
What? Mecca audio.
Let's go. So now we back to the intervention with the homies. Because some of y'all don't tune down. Some of them came in. So I'm going to let it cap out here. So we back with the homies and we up in the Mecca. The 5 homies telling them that they all hitting it, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? So I look at them and I tell them straight up. I said, Dawg, she's screwing everybody. She tried to screw me. I'm going to keep it 100. But I wouldn't do that because you my man. I told you about it. When I told you about it, you know what I mean? You shook it off. I said, when I went there the other day to look for you, you wasn't there and your girl let me in. You got all the weed in the house. You know what I mean? And she had on a pair of panties, and a bra. And let me in and said she was on the phone for me to wait in the living room. So I go in, she goes in the back room, in the bedroom on the phone, in the bra and panties, and I expect her to come back out with a robe on, and she come back out in the bra and panties, and she stand up in front of me, and she's telling me that you're not here, Now, when I told you about this incident, you told me it was hot that day. It was hot that day. Come on, dog. You know, I said, well, anyway, well, she let me in the crib, you know, and you got all that weed in the crib. She know I work for you. She know it's yours. I said, all right, but that sound good, but still, you wasn't there. You know what I mean? So how she know if something happened with me and you, and I double back to go take that, rob her, kill her, whatever, for her to let me in? Because you can't trust nobody. Like I told you, I wouldn't even let my 8-year-old son sit behind me in my car. No disrespect to him, just showing you how real it is on the street. Can't trust nobody. My 8-year-old son living with his mother and his stepdaddy, her new man. So I don't know when this new dude is gonna manipulate my son to take a box cutter or razor and slit my throat. So I can't take these chances. And that's why I tell the youngest, don't get involved in a life of crime, because this way your mentality got to be at. But I'm 59 years old and I'm still alive today because I took these precautions. I love my son. I die for my son. But I'd be damned if I let him kill me for a stepdaddy. You know what I mean? And you know, it's funny. You know, I'm just riding. Just let me enjoy this Thursday. Please let me enjoy this Thursday. Please let me enjoy this Thursday. Let me show you how this play out into today's time. 2022, you know, a female friend of mine that I know, she had a couple of kids and she was picking up from school and she had to get back to the crib or something like that. So she asked me for a ride. So I let them get in the car. And when they get in the car, the little girl got in the driver's side back seat in the 4-door and was right behind me. So I politely turned around and asked, excuse me, could you move to the other side? The girl was about 13. So the girl said, no, I'm not moving to the other side. I want to sit here. You know, I said, no, it's my car. I'm asking you to politely move to the other side. I'm not going nowhere. Why I got to sit over there? And this little girl want to argue with me about where she's going to sit in my car. First of all, you didn't buy the car. The car had nothing to do with you. Get your young stupid over there. You know what I mean? So she got an attitude, and her mother come over and say, come on, Unique, let's just go. Let her sit there. I said, no, I'm not letting her sit there. You know I don't let nobody sit behind me. So then she thought about it. She said, oh, yeah. Now, baby, just move over so you can sit there. And then the little girl tells her mother, no, I'm not moving. No, I'm not moving. The car is not moving with you behind me. And so I get out the car, and I tell her mother, yo, either y'all take an Uber, bus, whatever, but she got to get out my car. You know what I mean? So the little girl jumped out and said, well, I don't care. I'm getting out your car. What are you scared of? I said, I'm scared of you. What do you mean what I'm scared of? I'm scared of you sitting behind me because I would never allow you to kill me. Kill you? This was, she's 13. So she's like, kill you? I said, yeah. I said, hold up, man. I snapped for a minute. You know what I mean? Yo, no. And I'm trying to explain to her nicely now. I said, yo, no disrespect, young lady, but, you know, the way I'm raised is nobody sit behind me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I wasn't being disrespectful. If you want to ride, you could go on and get in the other side. If not, you know, I'm going to give your mother money for Uber, and she'll take a Uber. But I'm not driving you sitting behind me, you know? And up to this day, that girl, this was last year, that girl's a little older, and she still don't understand it, you know? She's still mad because I wouldn't let her sit behind me, said I didn't like her. And I'm trying to tell her, it ain't about liking you. It's about trusting you. I don't trust no one. I don't care how old you are. So I told her the story about my 8-year-old son wanting to sit behind me. I had to make him move, you know? And she looked at me and said, you crazy. I said, no, I'm alive. I survived. You know, and I'm going to continue to survive. But you know I ain't going to do nothing to you. I said, I don't know what you're going to do to me. I don't know when whoever your mother talking to, your uncle talking to you, or whatever, give you a little razor blade and tell you to go slice my throat. So I'm not going to put myself in that situation to be a statistic for the 1 in a million that a 13-year-old girl slit the throat of an ex-drug kingpin, you know, with a razor blade because she was sitting behind him in the back, you know, passenger seat. No. You know, so that's where we was at. But anyway, back to my man. I know I'm just riding, man. I know I'm just riding, but, you know, it's Throwback Thursday. You know what I mean? Hold up.
Mecca what?
Mecca audio. All right. So now, we in there, we all telling my man straight. I said, dude, look, we got to go cook these joints, man. Bottom line, everybody screwing your girl. Leave the beef alone with the homie and let's push forward, you know? So I said, why is you doing this anyway? They all telling you that she's a smut. But back then, what would we call it back then? She was a trick, you know? She was a jump off. You know, I'm going to give you another word that y'all probably don't even know. This late. This what we at? 30? We had 40 minutes in this video. I'm going to give you a mark at 40 minutes. She was a scallywag. Y'all remember that? You old heads remember that? The most scallywags? You know what I mean? She was a scallywag. I said, so why are you even going through all this? And he looked at me, man, and this is where I'm going to close out. He said, man, but I love a dog.
Cheers. Crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, get it back in the mix. What he mentions is gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in home. He cut from the bottom, I came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you gon' get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you gon' visit. Then you consider yourself linked. Sit front row and get used from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention when was stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grands got along. A man that generated minutes on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it out like 2 G's in the night. Drop top beaming so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind. Spin a couple bands on the dapper pan. You got that pan, get green like Packers fan. No cap is a raw uptown. They horn uptown, the minute they bust down. Now we on the positive, you got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an egg. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But then I wait about selling drugs, buying cars, buying property to make the community y'all. So we can give back to the youth, them. Good day to truth, them. And bless up to all the real